Patricia. I am a writer and journalist here in Montreal, and actually I have a lot of projects going on at the same time. All of them are related to media, and most of them are related to Montreal. First of all, I'm the Montreal editor at Fashion Magazine. I'm a print and video blogger for the Montreal Buzz. I just authored a book for Frommers for Montreal and Quebec City, edition 2012. And a second book for Frommers called Far and Wide, which was recently debuted in bookstores. And I write reviews for Gajo.com, and I do a lot of things I told you. And the last thing is what a lot of people don't know is I actually started my own business where I create custom corporate content. So one of my big clients is Cadillac Fairview, and I create little e-magazines for clients like that. I think for me, I've always been curious about food. Being a child of immigrants to Canada, my parents immigrated to Toronto in 1972. I've always been curious about what other people are eating. I think people were always curious about what I was eating because I wasn't your typical kid bringing lunches to the schoolroom. I was bringing like rice and things like that. So I always felt different, so I always was curious what other people around me were eating, and I think this extended into my adulthood. After university, I traveled extensively in Europe and Asia, and I was never that kind of person that would order meat and potatoes everywhere I went. I was always interested in eating local food, so I think that that comes from being the child of immigrant parents. Well, I have so many, but if I think back to my childhood, if I think specifically for food memories, I distinctly remember waking up on Saturday mornings and my father making a Filipino breakfast. So if you're not Filipino, you might not know what that is. I think your average Canadian has bacon and eggs and toast and maybe baked beans, something like that. But Filipino parents, they make garlic fried rice, and we have these sweet little sausages that are so delicious, and they're called longanisa, these sausages, and we eat that with a fried egg. So I remember waking up on Saturday mornings and actually smelling that before opening my eyes and starting the weekend like that. So that is a very, very powerful memory for me. Well, yes, I've been to auberge St-Gabriel at least half a dozen times by now, and I think the first time I had dinner here, I had the very interesting experience of sitting at the table with the designer of the restaurant, which was really interesting. His name is Bruno Brown, and he's done actually a lot of restaurants in Montreal that I really love. He's done Chasse et Pêche, he's done a really great wine bar next to my house called Pullman. So I think Bruno has a really distinct style of putting a lot of wit and charm in his designs. You can see here, I don't know if you can see it, but behind me there's a kind of Siamese moose here, a headless Siamese moose. And at the bar here, the stools are decorated with the uniforms of, I think it's the French Army. So he was able to, it was interesting that he took a building that I think is from the 17th century. It was one of the first inns in North America, and able to showcase its history without making it seem like a museum, and really injected a lot of interesting life into the design. So that was a very interesting first time here at auberge St-Gabriel. Well, I think it's always hard to narrow it down to one thing, especially when you have a great chef like Eric Gonzalez. But I could say maybe the highlight of this particular meal was the oxtail that had a very savory sauce with it. It was so tender, and it had these chestnuts in it, and I love chestnuts. They remind me of Rome. And I don't know if they were boiled or if they were roasted first and then put in the stew, but excellent, chef. Thank you very much.